So first we're starting off with our vegetable prep. So I'm just cutting up my zucchini and then my squash, and you'll just see me meal prep or prep all of my vegetables. And you could do this in your Sunday meal prep or whenever you meal prep to make it a lot easier when you're cooking. So I have my yellow squash. Now I'm moving on to my peppers. So I'm gonna cut my peppers 2 different ways because I'm using peppers in 2 different dishes. So peep how this one is cut in half, but then the next one is gonna be diced. 2 quick cuts, put those in a container, and then same thing, but I'm gonna dice these ones. So they're nice and small and bite-sized. Moving on to my onion. This is literally the first onion that I've cut in a long time that didn't make me cry like really bad. So just dice that up, quick and simple. And don't mind the change of outfit that's about to happen. I prepped on 2 different days. So now I'm just getting my cilantro ready to go, taking out the stems, doing a quick cut. Moving on to my green onion. Same thing, just quick cuts. And a lot of my dishes have fresh vegetables, which is why there's a lot of prep. But then once you do all this, you're pretty much good to go. And it's good that you're getting a lot of servings of vegetables. So win-win. Now the garlic. And if you have a garlic press, this would be so much easier, but we don't. So you have to peel it. And y'all, when I tell you the best thing that happened to me is getting this Ninja chopper. It literally chops everything so fine, so quickly, and it's just the clutchest thing that I've bought in a while. All right, so now you're gonna see all of my veggies nice and prepped. I ended up not using the sweet potatoes in this video, but I still cut them. I got my onions, peppers, squash, and zucchini. And yeah, doesn't it look so tasty? Moving on, we're gonna start seasoning our vegetables. So this is very simple. I'm gonna use some rosemary, some oregano, some garlic, and some parsley. After that, I'm gonna twist in a couple cracks of ground pepper. And I do not use salt when I'm making my vegetables because if you use enough seasoning, they're flavorful enough. I don't know what I was trying to say. So with the olive oil, I'm just gonna drizzle it, and then you just wanna shake it. Put a lid on it and shake it, and your vegetables are good to go. They're gonna come out very flavorful and seasoned. So those are my seasoned vegetables, and this was day 1 of me prepping. And so you can see you can cut all your vegetables, you can season all your vegetables. So then the next day when you're cooking, all you have to do is dump it out onto a pan and then you're good to go. So starting off with my first recipe, I'm doing chicken and veggies. So with some boneless, skinless chicken thighs, I just put them in a container, hit it with some salt and some pepper. And you want to make sure you move it around and everything gets coated with the seasoning. And then I'm just going to add some sauce to it. And the sauce that I chose to use is this Taste of Inspirations Parmesan and garlic. When I tell y'all, this brand of sauce is so good. I've tried the Parmesan garlic, a different type of garlic, the teriyaki. None of their flavors have disappointed so far, so I'm honestly just going through the whole brand, trying everything. So highly recommend. And so you see I'm just poking my chicken with holes so that I can get all the flavor from the sauce into the chicken. And then I'm just going to pour another layer on top and then put it in a container. Well, put a top on the container. Put it in the fridge for 24 hours so everything can soak in and it can be bomb. Now this is the cooking time. So I'm just going to lay it out onto a pan that's lined with foil, making cleanup so much easier. Pop it in the oven at 350 for 40 minutes. Then I'm going to roast these vegetables. So also on a pan that's lined, in the oven at 425 degrees for like 20 to 25 minutes. Look at that chicken, juicy. And this is the final meal prep. It looks basic, but it's honestly very flavorful, and it's a good just go-to meal. Very quick, very simple, no carbs. Moving on to my favorite dish. So I'm going to be doing some salmon and veggies. So with your salmon, I was just having a lot of trouble trying to get this out. You're going to put your salmon onto a pan, and I cut mine into 3 pieces so that it would look cute in my meal prep containers. Then I'm just gonna hit that with some pepper and some salt, just like I did with my chicken. You know, we always use and season it over here. Then with some avocado oil, first time trying this, and I really liked it. I'm gonna I'm gonna put some on the top of my fish, and then using this little brush, I'm gonna brush it on, make sure it's in all the crevices. And then I'm gonna work on my sauce for on top of my fish. So with this P.F. Chang's teriyaki sauce, when I tell y'all the sauce was so bomb, I'm gonna spice it up a little, add some lemon, add some pepper, a little bit of salt, and then mix that up. And you just wanna do it to taste. So once you like it, you're good. Then you're gonna pop your fish in the oven. Look at that. Well, that's popped out. And then you're just gonna put your sauce on top, and your fish just looks so good and so juicy. When I tell y'all, this fish was literally just falling apart. It was so good. So now moving on to my veggie medley. This was my favorite part. So starting off with some broccoli and some avocado oil. You're just gonna put that on medium to low heat until you can steam it. Then once that's gone for like 5 to 8 minutes, you're gonna add in some snap peas, steam it again. This recipe is kind of time consuming. It's just pop your veggies in, steam, pop some more veggies in, steam. So now I'm popping in those peppers that I cut in half, and I'm gonna let that steam again. Put the top on. Then I'm adding in some shredded carrots. So I got the pre-packed shredded carrots, but you can always shred your own. Then after everything starts to get soft, you're gonna season. So I use ginger. I wish we had fresh ginger, but we ran out. Some soy sauce, low sodium of course, because we're always trying to minimize the salt. And then some of that garlic that I cut up earlier. When I tell y'all, this was so flavorful. And then added some lemon juice, and then let that cook down a little bit more until the vegetables are nice and soft, but your broccoli still has a little bit of crunch. You know, you want to have it perfect, so you get a little bite in every meal, or a little bite in every bite. You're just gonna stir that around, keep it on the heat. This took a total of like 30 minutes from start to finish, but it's literally worth the wait. Like, look at that. It looks like you got it from the carryout. Then for the rice, I just used some sushi rice, cooked it based on the directions on the back. Then this is the spicy part. Not spicy, but the different part. So with some rice vinegar, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of salt, you're gonna heat that up until you get a syrup, and then you're gonna put that over your rice. This is gonna give you the most sticky rice ever. And if you wanna keep it on the more healthier side, just do your plain rice. You don't need to do any of that. But I was trying to switch it up because this is from a recipe that I saw. Then you're gonna plate. Look at that. You're gonna sprinkle some green onion on top of that salmon. And when I tell y'all, my boyfriend would not be quiet about this. He literally loved it. So moving on to your fifth and final thing. This is kind of inspired by like taco night, but it's a little more healthy. So starting off with those those peppers that I diced, I'm gonna add that, and I'm gonna add some of the onion and just cook that down until it's nice and soft. The onions are translucent. Then adding in more garlic. Stir that in, make sure it's nice and flavorful. Ooh, got a little brown on it. Then once that's done, you're gonna take it out the pan and you're gonna add in your meat of choice. I chose ground turkey to keep it on the healthier side. You can use ground beef, you can use ground chicken. Don't forget to take that little piece of paper off. Then you're just gonna brown your meat until it's fully cooked. So I waited until it was around like 60% done, and then I added back in those vegetables that I had just cooked. Then I just cooked it until it was fully done, seasoning it with, I think, salt, cumin, chili powder, and I think that's it. I really can't remember. Or maybe some paprika too. Just giving it that taco feel. You can see, like I said, my food has seasoning. Then you're just gonna stir that, keep cooking until it's all the way done. Okay, now that that's finished and everything is nice and cooked, we're going to move on to a cilantro lime slaw. So just adding a little bit of Greek yogurt. I accidentally put the first spoon in the cabbage instead of in the bowl. So Greek yogurt, lime, cilantro, and garlic, and a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. And you're just gonna mix that up. So you have like a nice sauce, and then you're just going to coat your cabbage in the sauce, and it's just like a fresh, almost like a coleslaw, but it's just a fresh alternative to like just some plain sour cream, because Greek yogurt is a little more healthy than sour cream. And it just gives you another vegetable. You have snuck some cabbage in there, snuck some cilantro in there, and then it added a little bit of flavor. So my idea was to mix the ground turkey, put the cabbage on top, maybe put a little cheese, put it in a wrap, boom, healthy meal prep. Ignore it on my hand. I was really chefing it up in the kitchen. And this is my final meal prep. I hope you guys like this video. If you want more meal preps, let me know, and I'll see you guys in my next video. See ya.